Welcome back, Rankers. A couple of big things during the week from Google. The first, in case you haven't heard, you've been living under a rock, Google launched Google Wave, and a lot of people who had their invites have been testing it, and from all reports, they're loving it. I haven't, because I didn't get an invite, Google. But Nicholas Cormus here did, and he's been raving about it and basically becoming generally boring when he talks about it. But in case you don't know what Google Wave is, it is about what we're calling or what Google's calling the live web, the live environment, if you like, for everything social online. And think everything that you know about the internet being live and shove it on steroids and stick it into an application. And apparently, that's Google Wave. I'll bring you a more comprehensive review once I've had a look at it. The other thing that Google did during the week, announced, well, they haven't announced actually, the story that came out of All Things Digital was that Twitter and Microsoft apparently are in talks yet again with, Twitter and Google and Microsoft are in talks yet again for Google and Microsoft to get a feed from Twitter so we can enter into this real-time search environment. Google's already indicated this previously through Larry Page, one of the founders, that they certainly believe that the live web, the live search results are going to be really important in the long term. Now, in my opinion, I don't think live search results are going to necessarily be more important than, say, archive results or older results or web pages or whatever. But there are certain instances where you want to find out about something that's happening right now, and especially for live events where things are going on in the world or news, those sorts of things. I think live search is extremely important. But personally, I don't go onto Twitter and use Twitter necessarily as my answer machine. I only ask questions of other people on Twitter when I've already done an exhaustive research on Google, because quite frankly, if someone kept coming to me and said, does anyone know where I can get a widget? I'd keep pointing them back at Google and say, here's a really good resource. So I only use Twitter as a search tool when I don't have anything else. And one of the questions this week from Leaping Judas via Twitter was, do you think that the real-time Twitter feed to the engines will force business to acknowledge social media? Well, I have a little bit of a problem with the term or the label social media. We love our label and our jargon in this industry, and to me the concept of social media is where website building or websites were back in the mid-90s. Back then, and I was selling websites, so I know, we used to tell all businesses, you need a website. You haven't got a website? Why haven't you got a website? And now I feel that we're saying the same thing about social media. Back then, we didn't know how to make money out of websites. We didn't really have any idea. And I get a similar feeling right now that, yes, social media, or the things that make up social media, are really important and can be really important to business. But I would tell people that, if they're going to go into online marketing and if they're looking at social media as that, I don't think that's a really good idea just yet. If you're looking at social media as something that you want to explore and understand and connect with communities, then you should be doing that. We've had a lot of corporate Australia royally stuff up social media and have it backfire on them badly. And that's because they've gone in and tried to immediately make $1 out of it. That's not what it's about. If you want to do that, that's what we have search marketing for. That's what we have search engine optimization for, and that's what we have pay-per-click marketing for as well. You're going to get a much better return on your investment if you throw your resources in those sorts of areas. So don't look at social media as some sort of money-making machine. Much the same way as you couldn't have looked at websites back in 1995 as a money-making machine, even though I was going out there and telling everybody that they were. Sorry about that if you bought one from me in 1995. Okay, just quickly, finally today, Bob from Transtat. G'day, Bob. Good to hear from you again. Bob, we're going to quickly review your site for some SEO Love. Just quickly, I haven't checked this, whether you're ranked for this, but earth moving machinery sales, which is great if that's what you're trying to rank for. Good. Transat, I don't really know if you need that at the start of your page title on your main page. I would probably move that to the end, maybe put a hyphen in there. Just remember that whenever we get our keywords close to the start of a line or a start of a sentence or the start of a title or a tag or whatever, Google's going to put more importance on those keywords that are early in the phrase. Also, I understand what you're doing here, and if this is purely for humans, great, but I suspect it's not. I suspect it's a bit of SEO jiggery-pokery, and the reason that I say that is because it's a similar colour to the background, Bob. But there's probably slightly cleverer ways that you can do that if you want to tell Google what the site's about. For instance, I would lose this keyword meta tag. You know, Google's told us that they don't use them anymore, and it's probably just a lot of noise that you've got to make the bots wade through more than anything else. And also your description tag here, once again, I would get your most important phrases right at the start. You don't really need Transdat there, I wouldn't have thought, because you are going to have it in the page title, and that is what will appear in the Google search engine results. Your page title is the link that appears, in case some of you didn't know. The other thing with the actual entries down here, this is a site that sells tractors, and in case you haven't worked that out, and who doesn't like a tractor? I would try to, and you know, if you want to go the whole hog here, I would look at maybe actually linking these model numbers of the tractors rather than say the ID, because, and I don't know a lot about tractors, but I'm guessing people are not going to just search for a Daewoo tractor. They've probably, the people that you want hitting this site are people who have already made up their mind, and they know that they need a Doosan DX225LC 2007 Daewoo tractor. By linking the actual model number as well back to the actual entry, you're telling Google that it's about to go to a page that is about that thing, which it is. I mean, this link here, you know, it's not about, that page is not about 17366. It's about that tractor. So let's tell Google more about that, and let's get some title elements in those links as well. So when you put your mouse over those links, we get a little pop-up that says, this is what this page is about, and that's where you would use your keywords as well. You would maybe put the 2007 Doosan Daewoo tractor. On the entry page itself, start using some alt tags. Now I see this looks like a frame. I haven't had a chance to actually look at the code, maybe not. But get some alt tags on the images. Add a field when people are uploading that they can add information about the actual image that people are looking at. Especially helpful for people who don't have or who are vision impaired. Not too sure what they're doing buying tractors, but a bit of a concern really. But that's what I would do, and everything else looks pretty good. Make a decision on whether you want to. Let me just quickly see what you're doing here. Let's have a look at that code. You might want to have a think about whether you may want to follow some of these links and do a bit of internal page rank sculpting, or how much. You really just have to make a decision on how much link love, which is what this is, you want to give away outside your site. You might be perfectly happy doing that, but right now you are leaking link love. And if you put the no follow tag into that link, people will still be able to click it and go to the site. You just won't be sending any of that link love, but it's up to you whether you want to do that. Hopefully that helps. Also, you can use, all the graphics and everything that you have on your page, instead of calling them, image 0.1, call it tractor menu 0.1 or stuff like that. You can do all those sorts of things. But that's it for today's show. If you've got any questions, send them through. And thanks very much for watching. And I'll try to get to Google Wave this week and bring you some more information on it next week. Thanks very much. Bye.